Do you want to find some incredible real estate deals? These last 2 years, it's been impossible to find deals on the multiple listing services or through a realtor. And so going off market was key to finding properties under market value. Think about this. If you want to sell cookies, you're going to have to get a list of people to market to. Imagine if you got a list of the National Association of Dietitians. If you got that list and you started marketing cookies to them, you're going to make 0 sales. Now let's take the opposite approach and you get the list of National Association of Cookie Lovers. If you start marketing to that list, you're probably going to sell some cookies. Which list would you rather market to?
Trick question.
The same thing applies for real estate. If you get a list of people who just bought their house, they're probably not going to want to sell. But if you got a list of motivated sellers, then you have the right list to start marketing to. With that said, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get lists, where to get them, and what type of lists to pull to start marketing for good real estate deals. Hello y'all, my name is Stacy Johnson and I'm an all-star student in the Wealthy Investor Program where I spent $20,000 investing in myself and multiplied it over 10x in 1 year to over $200,000. I currently invest in Hawaii, and on this channel we talk about all things Hawaii real estate, lifestyle, money, and side hustles. Now let's get right into it. Before we get started, I actually created a free guide, the exact system that I use to turn that $20,000 to over $200,000 in 1 year. You can download that free guide in the link in the description below. So the first question I want to ask is, how do you get these lists? There's something called a list broker, and a list broker is just a company that provides different lists. We live in the age of information and people are constantly collecting data from you. When you're scrolling on Instagram and you're scrolling and you're scrolling and you're liking certain things, you're touching different ads, they're counting and seeing what you click on. They're looking at your Google searches. These data companies are collecting all of your data and selling it to people who market. If you think about it, it's kind of scary.
That is what the internet was made for!
But the reality is this is the life that we live in, digital age. You can use this to your advantage by getting these lists to market to people who you think might be looking to sell. There's so many different companies that you can get lists from. Just a couple different types is Batch Leads, ListSource, Foreclosures Daily, but my personal favorite is PropStream. The reason being is because you can get 10,000 records a month just in that subscription that you get for $97 a month. On top of that, you get accurate data on the property itself. You can do what's called driving for dollars directly in the mobile app, and you use all that data to run numbers, and you can get their phone numbers. There's so many different things included in PropStream that it's just a great all-in-one service that you can use nationwide in America, no matter what state you're in. If you're interested in a free 7-day trial for PropStream, go to the link in the description below. So what kind of lists do you even pull from PropStream? So here are 10 different lists that you can pull to get great off-market deals. Finding deals on the MLS can be impossible these days, and so in order to get very steep discounts on properties, you need to start looking off market. Number 1 is your absentee list. Number 2 is probate. Number 3 is foreclosures / pre-foreclosures. Number 4 is tax liens. Number 5 is high equity. Number 6 is bad credit. Number 7 is old owners. Number 8 is divorce lists. Number 9 is low equity, and number 10 is evictions. In this video, I'm going to break down each and every one and what they actually mean. And like I said, you can get these lists off of PropStream. So number 1, absentee lists. An absentee just means that someone that doesn't live at the property. Typically, this is going to be denoted because their mailing address is different from their property address. This just means that it's non-owner occupied. It's probably a landlord, which you can market to because they don't really have emotional ties to the property. Number 2 is probate. This is going to be typically people who have passed away and now they're having to go through the probate process, or they have a will in place and their property is going to be inherited by their beneficiary. Usually these properties have been owned for a very long time and now they're depleted, and this new person that has inherited this property doesn't want this property. They have nothing to do with it. It's old, dilapidated, and it's just a headache to maintain. They might be willing to sell and have some motivation. Number 3 is foreclosures / pre-foreclosures. You can get this directly from public data. People are going to have some motivation if if they are going through a foreclosure process. If they haven't been paying for the last 6 months, you bet something's going on and they might need to sell quickly. This gives you an opportunity to go in and help them and get your deal as well. Number 4 is tax liens. If you haven't been paying your property taxes, something must be up. Typically, if you haven't been paying, the county is going to put what's called a tax lien on your property and you're not able to sell unless you pay off that tax lien. This gives you an opportunity because they probably aren't able to pay for their payments. They're probably in some kind of financial trouble. Number 5 is bad credit. Again, this kind of ties into the foreclosure. If you start going through the foreclosure process, then you typically will have bad credit. That's not the only denotion of bad credit. It could be people behind on their loan payments for their car, what are their credit card payments, and usually that's going to show that they're in some kind of financial situation and you can come in and buy their house so that way they can go pay off all of their debts. Number 6 is high equity. This is a good property that they've been owning for a while and they might be willing to sell. This isn't a very high motivation list, but you know that there's some equity in there so that it's worth it for them to sell. Because if you think about if there's no equity in the property and they're wanting to sell it on the market, they have to pay commissions and they might just end up having to come out of pocket just to sell their property. Number 7 is older owners. This is grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, somebody who has been living in the property for a while. Let's say they're ready to downsize. They have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with stairs and now they're wanting to get a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo with an elevator because they're just ready to downsize and they don't want to handle fixing up the property to sell. An older owner might be more motivated to work with a cash buyer like myself.
I'm gonna call my grandma.
Number 8 is the divorce list. Now remember, when you get a divorce list and you're marketing to these people, it might be a pretty long process. My first deal I got under contract was from a divorce list. We have been going through this process for over 2 years now. So just remember that when you're going through a divorce court, if they are not on the same page, which a lot of times they're not, it's a long, lengthy process, but you're able to get deals way under market value because they need to sell. Number 9 is low equity.
I thought you just said...
I know I said high equity before, but low equity is also a good one because this gives you an opportunity for subject to and seller finance deals. I'm not going to go into the details of this, but if you want to buy a house with creative finance, some properties with low equity, they need to sell. They're in some kind of bad situation, financial situation. This is a great opportunity to make a win-win for those sellers. Number 10 is eviction. If somebody is getting evicted from that property, you can imagine the landlord thinks of this property as a headache property and might be looking to sell. There's your 10 lists, folks. You're gonna wanna pull these lists from something like PropStream. Then you're gonna have to get their phone numbers and call them to see if they're looking to sell. Now you're well on your way to getting your first off-market deal at way under market value because you stuck to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Aloha and see you on the next one. Shoots!